Hello, everybody. Listen, I don't have a greeting for this channel. I hope everybody is fine. If you are joining us for the first time, welcome to Raising Sipho. And if you are joining us for the first time on this channel, and you like our content here, please press the subscribe button and press notification bell so that you can be notified every time that we post on this channel. I try and post something at least once a week. I've been good. I've been good. I've been good recently. So one of my viewers had asked if I can share like how we got Sipho's caretaker, because I think because I've spoken about her on the channel, and also like people have seen her on the vlogs. We did the vlogs when we were in the hospital on her birthday as well. So I've thought about this idea, but I never knew how to tell the story, because it's a long story of how we got to have the person that we have right now. So, but I'm gonna try and not tell, because we've been through a lot of people before we got to the person that we have right now, who is like a lifesaver right now. It's like an answered prayer, honestly, you guys. Listen, if you're joining the channel for the first time, Sipho has special needs. She has cerebral palsy, and she requires 100% assistance with everything that she does throughout the day. So she does need somebody that is full time taking care of her. And yes, so let me start by saying that if you have a child that has special needs, obviously you do have an option to look for somebody that is professionally trained to do caretaking, and through agencies. You do have that option. There are those options. The only thing that I didn't like about that option is that those people usually would be people that keep a relationship at arm's length when it comes to their work. They're going to come in, give medication, help with this and that, but it's not somebody that you can integrate into your family, and I wanted somebody that I could integrate into the family, that would be like part of the family, that I could 100% trust with Sipho, because I do work a 9 to 5, and I wanted somebody that can take care of her when I do other things outside of work as well. And yes, so for me, that type of service, it just wasn't gonna work for me. It wasn't gonna work for me. So I opted to find somebody that I felt would be suitable for Sipho and for our family, and then train the person on how to take care of her. So before Sipho was diagnosed, I was working at the time, and I already had gone through a few nannies or like helpers in the house, because I was working full time, obviously, and Sipho was very young, was under 2, because when we started having medical issues with her, she was 2. So already it was an issue. I remember at that time when we started, like when whatever happened, you will have to go watch the videos that I did on how I became a special needs mom. At that time, she was I would take her to my mom's during the week, which is back at home, and then fetch her over the weekend. And this time she got sick in one of those weekends when I went to fetch her, because it was a weekend, and then I went to see her. I wasn't gonna take her that weekend. I was gonna go home, be with her, and then go back because we lived at Chesterville at the time. Because at that time I didn't have anybody. Because if you are somebody that hires nannies and helpers, you know So, and then she got sick, but I didn't have anybody that was helping us at the time. So, and then the whole thing happened, and at some point we were in the hospital, changed hospital from this hospital to that hospital, and then we ended up at a rehab center. Okay, guys, if you really want to understand how we even end up at the rehab center, you have to go on my main channel Ntando Mdletshe and watch videos called How I Became a Special Needs Mom. It's a 3-part story, so you will understand it. But we ended up at a rehab center after she had gone through all of these treatments at the hospital. We were at the rehab center. Great place, Entabeni Rehabilitation Center, great place, but that place, Sipho was actually the first patient that was a child in that hospital. So, but the support that we got from that hospital was amazing. And I remember even the decision for her to go to the rehab center before we actually went home with her. It was because when the doctor actually asked me, like, because when I at some point I had to make a decision for her to be moved from a public hospital, which was at Nkosi Albert Luthuli Hospital, to City Hospital. And then the doctor that was helping me, they asked me, why would you not want to take your child home right now? And I was like, doctor, this was not her condition before. I don't know what to do when I get home. At that time she was taking 100 medications, and I think I've told that part of the story. So she looked at the option of a rehab center for us. She found a rehab center for us, and we did the whole thing with the medical aid approval, and so we went to the rehab center. Just a rehab center is like, even when somebody has a stroke, for an example, and your life changes, like your mobility changes, and maybe you cannot walk anymore and you used to walk. So a rehab center, when you're coming from the hospital, you go to a rehab center so they can see how much support you need. Occupational therapists, speech, everything. All therapists come and they assess you. They see how much, if you had to go home, how much support you're going to need, and also educate me as a parent, or us as parents, on what we're gonna need. And by the time we left the rehab center, she already had like her first wheelchair, and they will tell you these are the things that she's gonna need as she grows. Those are going to be her needs and all of that. So that's what, and also the exercises and all of that done at the rehab center. So at some point I obviously had to go back to work because I had taken so much time off. And obviously my mom would come and stay with her in the hospital, but my mother is elderly. So we started looking at the option of getting somebody now, and we knew that we were going to need somebody full time. At the time, we got somebody that was really amazing. It is somebody that it's like my mom and her mom are like sisters, but not really. Like my mom Umangcobo, and my mom and her mom were best friends basically. And she passed away. The mom passed away. My mom's friend passed away. So my mom had always looked at those kids as her kids as well. Like she not like take care of them because they're grown, but she, when they need a mom figure, they always come to her. So my mom had said that one of them, and I knew them obviously, she didn't have a job, and she thinks her personality, she thinks she would do well taking care of Sipho. At that time we were very desperate, so I was like, she can come. And at that time she was going to come and take care of her in the hospital, so I could go to work. So so she came, and it worked out good. She did well with Sipho. When Sipho got discharged, we went home. We were living in Chesterville at the time, and we stayed with her. She was amazing with Sipho Sechu. The only thing that happened, and obviously because she came when we were still learning about the condition guys Sipho, we were learning with her. So it was like she came at a perfect time. So as we are learning how to treat Sipho, how to take care of her, how to give the medications, when we go for therapy sessions and all of that. While we were learning, she was learning with us. So she came right at the right time. But what happened, timelines are very difficult for me to keep, but we stayed with her for a while. What happened is that she fell pregnant, and well, I did give her some time off to go and have the baby, and then she came back. But then when she came back, her baby started getting sick. And not only did she start getting sick, he was also diagnosed with a serious medical condition, and it started because she did come back. At some point, she even went and fetched the baby, and we were staying all together. Like I was taking care of her baby and taking care of Sipho, and she was taking care of Sipho and the baby. Crazy, but there was alive because she was good at that time. She was the person that I trusted with her. So, but then they started. The baby started getting really sick, and because at the time we didn't know what was wrong. Really, she would cough a lot. She had chest problems, and it started being risky even for Sipho to be around the baby, because all of us were not sure what's going on with the baby. And also they were also getting admitted all the time. So she started living the life that I was living earlier on, when Sipho was like getting admitted all the time in the hospital. So it just wasn't working at the time. We just had to let go. It was very hard for us. It was very hard for us to let go of her, because we really, really loved how she was taking care of Sipho, and my other kids also love it. To this day, like, it's one of my kids' favorite person. they really love her. So that was the first person that was really good with her, that we just had to let go of her, because then she had to focus on taking care of her baby, and I had to find other people. After that, I've had all kinds, you guys, because then we will have to find a person. You train the person, because you will have to train the person at home. With Sipho, there's things that you do at home. There is the feeding, there is the bathing, there is the bedtime, the wheelchair, how the wheelchair works, and all that. All of everything with her at home. Then when you feel like the person knows what to do, the things that they need to do at home, then now you start taking the person with you when you go to appointments with the physiotherapy and whatever, so that they know what to do at home. They know how to stretch her, they know the routine to wake her up and all of that. So it's a lot. When you get someone new, it's a lot. But I've been through so many. So many. I think after that one, I think that was a good one, Ubuhle. There was another one that came, I think she was from Inkandla or something. How did I get that lady? I can't even remember how I got that lady, but she was really good with her too. But remember, this is not like after the first one that was good, it was her. No, there were people in between. But I'll tell a few stories of the crazy stories. I got this one. But what happened with this one is that at some point she got a job. And that was so stressful for me, because after she stayed for a few months, and I was like, I got another one that is good now. She got a job, another job. And she said she was going to work for this Indian family, just being helping in the house or whatever. After like a week, she was gone. I called her, asked her how much they were paying her, and then I said I was going to pay her more than they were paying her. So I basically gave her a raise so she could come back, because I was like, I'm not going through another person. So she agreed. Came and worked for a month or two, I think, and then did the same thing. She got another job. And so at that time, it was that I liked her. She was really good with Sipho, but I started feeling like, is she really getting another job, or she's gonna keep doing that so that I can give her a raise? And if she's doing that, really, does she really care about us, or does she really care about Sipho? And I just let her go. And funny enough, that lady, like maybe 2 weeks later, she sent me a message, and she was like, if I still have a job for her, would I please help her? Or if someone else is looking for someone, that job never worked out. So I do think that she was just trying to get more money out of us. And at that time, I couldn't even afford to pay her more than I was already paying her. So I let go of her. But I've had so many crazes. There was this one older woman that I got, just she was a local, so she wasn't a stay-in. Really good with Sipho. Even everybody that was her would say she was really good with Sipho, but she ubekhuluma kakhulu, and people will be surprised. People that know me on YouTube will be surprised that angiyena umuntu othanda ukukhuluma. Angimthanda umuntu okhulumela futhi, umuntu okhulumayo for everything, even things that don't involve you. I don't like that. I like keeping to myself. I know people will be surprised, but I am like that. Like, I talk when it's necessary. I talk about things. I will talk and joke and all, but angimthanda umuntu okhuluma kakhulu. So at some point I had to let go. And she was an older woman. And you know, when an older woman is at your house and they are older than you, they want to tell you what to do. That one, I let go of her, just that I want peace in my life. You know, I really just wanted peace. Even when it comes to Sipho, sometimes she would want to tell me how to treat Sipho. Even though a lot of the things she was doing right, but I was like, I can't. It's just not. I think she worked for like 2 months. I don't even think 2 months. I think the second month I actually sent her money home after I had fired her. One day I came back from work and she had like a list of 100 complaints about how I ran my house. I listened to her. I was so irritated. Afterwards she left and I called her when maybe she was at the gate when I called her, and I was like, no, don't come back. And then another crazy one was the one where, okay, I got this lady. We were still just going through training. Like, usually, like 2 weeks, I'm just watching if a person, because you can already see if the person is going to do well with Sipho or not. You know, it's not a job for everybody, you guys. It's not a job because it's not an easy job. Taking care of Sipho is not an easy job. So it's not a job for anybody. So this one came, and okay, she was okay. And I think after, like, what had happened? I can't remember what had happened that I asked her about the baths with Sipho, because the two most important, not most important, but the baths and the feeding of Sipho are the two things that if a person doesn't get right, then I know it's not gonna work. I know it's not going to work. Feeding, because if she doesn't eat, it's a problem. And you suppose that she doesn't talk, but she communicates. So the way she lets you know that she doesn't like you is by not eating the food that you give to her. She will not eat the food if she doesn't like you. That's just how she communicates. So if we're struggling with feeding her, then we're going to have a problem, because then she's not, what are we going to do, you know? Bats are they can be the most hazardous thing when it comes to special needs kids. You know, accidents happen with bats. So somebody that is not able to handle bats, it's a problem. But bats are very important, because then the child ends up smelling. You know, a lot of the times, like kids in wheelchairs, you'll end up, if you're next to them, smelling urine and whatever, because a lot of them are in nappies, even though they are out of the age where they're supposed to be in nappies. So cleanliness is very important. So somebody that is not able to handle those, you know. So this one, I don't know what was happening, that I asked her about how she bathes Sipho, because I had showed her how to give Sipho a bed bath, but how to bath Sipho a bathroom. You can give Sipho a bed bath, because bathroom baths are very difficult. So if maybe once a week you can give her a bed bath, because sometimes you're tired. It takes a lot of strength to give bathroom baths every day. So I had showed her, you do have an option to bath her like this. But it looked like with her, she just decided that she's not going to bath Sipho. And I discovered that maybe 2-3 weeks later, that since she came, she had never Sipho in the bathroom, even though we had gone through how you do bathroom baths. So one day I'm asking her, how come you never bath Sipho in the bathroom? She says, no, she's too heavy for her. And this was like when she was still maybe like 8 years old or something, maybe even younger than that. Now she's heavy and we still do bathroom baths. So I'm like, so you never ever, she's like, yeah, how to bath it? Like a bath, okay, since you give a bed bath, what about her hair or something? I never wash her hair. So what are we going to do? Because she needs, I don't know, I just don't think that I can be able to. So I can be able to bath her in the bath. So I had to let go of her. Crazy. And then And then there was another one where, if you notice right now, I always keep Sipho's hair short because I'm paranoid about the cleanliness of her hair because of this one person that I'm going to talk about. This one, at that time, it was even easier with her because at that time Sipho has gone to school. She's not going now. She stopped during COVID, and then after COVID we were dealing with the hips, and so it was like we can't. It was gonna be impossible for her to be at school dealing with that issue. So she's done with surgery, and now I'm like, okay, now maybe we can look at the school option, whether she goes back to the school she used to go to, or maybe we look for a school here in Maritzburg now. So basically, that lady, what was her job was, she would come in. Actually, yeah, it's a long story because the way I found her, obviously she was looking for a job and she was local in Chesterville. But she had told me a story of how she was about to be kicked out of this other neighbor of ours at Chesterville because she was owing a lot of rent, and she had two young kids that were like in primary. So she was saying she's looking for a job. So I asked her, would you take, at the time I was between people, would you be able to do such a job? And she said she thinks she'd be able to, and whatever. She was desperate, I guess. So we had rooms at Chesterville, like Wendy houses outside the house. So, and we had one room where a tenant had moved out. So I was like, you know what, let's make a deal where you come and stay here. And finances, yeah, we worked out a deal. Finances, how are we going to work out the rent and whatever. And then she was going to, in addition, she was going to work. So basically what she would do is that in the morning I would prepare Sipho for school and whatever, and then I would go to work, and then we had a process of getting Sipho ready because there was transports that would come and fetch Sipho. But since she can't get in the transport on her own, she would get in the transport with her, go to school, drop Sipho off at school, come back, and then just help me in the house and wait for I think it was 2 or 3 o'clock, and then the car will come fetch her, and then she will go to school, fetch Sipho, and come back. And then when she comes back, she gives her food or whatever, baths her for the evening and whatever. But I started feeling like every time I come back from work, Sipho will be shining with Vaseline, and sometimes you feel even like ekhanda ugcotshwe Vaseline, like, hi man, did she bath? Yes. Did she? And Sipho is growing, so like Amakwapa is like now, she's everything you can see, you can smell the bath. And I started feeling like that. Oh, the chair wouldn't be smelling nice, but she's looking clean, the clothes are looking clean, and then she's looking shiny with us. That's how. And one day, I don't know what made me, because even though we keep her hair short, but if it's winter, we don't cut her all the time, because sometimes like she has lots of hair, like we have to cut her maybe every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks. We have to cut her hair. But in winter, we don't fuss so much. I don't know what made me look on on her scalp, and guys, what I found, I don't even know how to explain it. Ilonda ekhanda, indicating that nobody was washing her hair. Yo, guys, when we cut that hair, it was like this child has not been bathed, has not been bathed. Remember, I'm coming back from work in the afternoon, I'm looking at her, whatever, maybe she would, I would say, please change her nappy before you go. And I would just like look at her nappy and stuff when I'm putting her to bed and whatever. And I think because she would be looking like clean, I'm thinking, okay, and I would ask, did she bath? Guys, the guilt that I was feeling when I realized that ingane yami ingcolile and all. So obviously, those are the kind of stories that I had gone to. Now, corner for me, even to check on certain things, there is a book that I had read right when I think we came out. I think I might have even read that book while I was still in the hospital with Sipho Setu. And it's about this guy from Pretoria who had an accident, like a drowning accident in the pool at her parents' house, and was, I think they thought he was brain dead, you know, and obviously he got like disabled. He couldn't move any parts of of his body, and nobody was sure about how much of his brain worked, but it did. Like, he understood what was going on around him, he just couldn't move. And then the story is about how much abuse he endured, because people didn't think that he understood what was going on. People didn't think that he even could feel when something is hot. How many times he was given like really hot tea in these fancy care places that people take their children to because they see it's fancy, you know, kusebenza abelungu lana banakekela ingane. How much abuse. He was even sexually abused by a nurse in one school that he was taken to. So I knew I was paranoid because of that. So I think some of these things I found them out early, that she was not being taken care of ngendlela, because I would look when I feel like no, something is just not. I would look, or I would ask. Like, I felt like I got lana, and I asked. So then I had to let go of that lady. And then it was my okay. Ubaba Sipho works for this for this company. He's in retail. In their office, he works with somebody that is from the same place where he's from, Emma Pepetin, you know. So they talked, so because not that they knew each other before, but they talked, and he had just talked to we're looking for somebody. So she was like, I have a few people in the family that could, or people I know that could. So she had sent us one person, which didn't work. Like, I think it was like 2 weeks, it didn't work. And then she was very disappointed because she really wanted to help us, and then send someone else. Okay. The second person came, worked fine. The only problem was that she was young, and we were staying in Lokshini. And you know, in Lokshini, you know. One day, umuntu ngiyabuya, I don't know where I was coming from. I think I was coming from the salon, which is coming from the neighbor with a glass of alcohol. I get home, Sipho is sitting alone in the wheelchair or whatever. You know, got the neighbors to fetch a can of alcohol. Hey guys, when I have time, I will tell you that story. I will tell you that story. And then that, and the fact that there were other things that would happen, that she was acting inappropriate in certain things. But when it came to taking care of Sipho, I would feel like she is good, except Uguti. Then ufuna ukuyogroova sometimes, you know. So that didn't work out, obviously. So after that, I was just like fed up. Like, you know what? I'm fed up with Abantu. But it was like, what am I going to do? I think that was the first, after that one, that was the first time, because at that time, it was the time when I also, because I was working in Durban, and our Durban campus at the time, and we were, I got a job here in Pietermaritzburg. So we were in between deciding whether we're all moving here or I'm just going to travel from Durban to here. So we were going through that change, but as well, we don't have anybody that is stable to take care of her. I think COVID honestly helped me, because COVID helped me to, because obviously during COVID, we were at home. We were forced to be at home. So during that time, I actually took care of her myself, because I was at home. You remember, we had to work from home and all of that stuff in 2020. And it helped me to decide on what I was going to do. So obviously the lady that had gotten the other two that did not work out kept on saying, listen, now I've got a really, really good one. So Baba Sipho would always say, now this lady says, manje, unomuntu o right. And I was like, yo, I'm nankathalela abantu laba ba right. And then they come here, they're not right. So I was like, yo, I don't know what I was. I think I was just fed up with abantu. And then at the same time, there was this child that used to send me messages like they're looking for a job or in anything I have and she had found out that I was looking for someone to take care of Sipho, and she kept begging me, can I please come and try? I think I'll be able to take care of her, whatever. So I said no. I knew that was not going to last long because she was also not. She was also very young, so she came. That also just didn't work because what happened with her was that I live with students here. Other people, I've said before that over and above being a finance officer at duty, I'm also an RA, which is a resident advisor. So I look after students. So there's students here, there's students in this block, there's students that side. Sometimes the students are, doing their own student programs. Sometimes we're having whatever beauty contests. Busy. So when she got here, and she was same age as the student. So now when she's here, when I'm here, now she wants to go out and and party with the student. So I soon realized it wasn't gonna work as well. So also and also that one, I was like, this was a mistake. She had an accident, which, even though I won't explain because it's very emotional to explain, she had an accident with Sipho on a wheelchair that I felt that's it. She just wasn't working. So then the ladies kept saying, I really have a good person. Baba Lung is like, what are you going to do? You're not going to say, we just have to keep on trying people, until we find the right person. You can't say you're not going to try people. Because, guys, that was the first time that I was actually considering, maybe, because I've met a lot of parents that would say at some point, I really just had to quit my job because I just couldn't find somebody that I could trust with my child. It's that hard, and your child can endure so much abuse, from you trying to find even those trained ones. In fact, those professionally trained ones are even more abusive a lot of the times to the kids. So eventually, I think then she called me and we spoke on the phone. And then what happened? Yes, that the lady that was gonna find someone. So I was no whatever. I was like, okay, I'll call her, but I didn't call her, and I think she called me. I think Unoganda called me. I think, and then by this time I made sure that I explained everything. Like, this is not an easy job. This is what you have to. I wanted to make sure that she understands. It's a hard job. This is what you're going to do and whatever. And she was like, no, it's fine. And then I think I was like, okay, I'll call you. And then I think after a few days, she calls again. Am I coming? Because it was going to be the beginning of the month. Yes, I know Mangizi. And I was like, okay, come. When she comes, Nakoda, I'm like, yo, she looks young because she's really young, guys. I know usually when I refer to her, I say auntie, but it's because auntie Sipho. I've always done that with my kids when I have someone that helps me with them. It's because I don't want them to call umuntu ngegama or let's say auntie so they can say her aunt. But it's not good. I'm saying auntie for it's my aunt. Auntie Sipho. It's not auntie. So she's very young. She's like my little sister, very very young. So when she came, I was worried because she's young. It's another young one. But this is what convinced me that she would possibly, do well with Sipho. I think she came, I think the first day I showed her, okay, this is what we do, this is how we feed her. Remember, you guys, it's a lot to actually show somebody, because you have to show them everything that has to do with a child. throughout the day, what they do. And every time I have to get someone new, I have to take time off work. I have to actually say to my boss, I just got a new caretaker and I have to train them, because I have to show the person what to do, and then I have to be in the house to see how they do, and watch. And then when I feel like I'm comfortable, then I can go back to work. So I think like the first day, okay, fine, I showed her how to what to do, whatever. And then the following day, I think I made Sipho's breakfast. I got distracted. I don't know if I got a call on my phone. And then when I came back, the food was gone. I'm like, where's the food? And she's like, I gave it to Sipho. And Sipho is now. I'm like, Sipho doesn't eat any food. She's like, no, but I fed I fed her. I'm like, that's when I thought, okay, this might actually work. Like I'm telling you guys, Sipho won't eat the food if she doesn't like you. And if you don't treat her well as well, she won't eat the food. And then I think lunchtime, then I watched her feed and I could see Sipho really ate. And then I think there was a time when I was also busy, and it was supposed to be her bath time, and she just prepared everything, went to the bathroom, bathed Sipho, and then I was like, okay. It looks like it's gone away. Guys, when I say that she has been like God sent. Even my sister, this one time when she came, she was like, I think that Sipho just found her soulmates. Like she found her soulmates, like she loves guys. Like now, after a few months, because obviously we stayed with auntie for a few months. After a few months, it was the first time that Sipho would be unhappy that her caretaker is not around. So after a few months, every time auntie would go for a weekend, guys, Sipho would cry the whole weekend. I'm not even sure. She will not sleep. She would not want to eat. I would know that weekend. But it took some time for me to understand what that is. Remember, she can't communicate. And sometimes, because she doesn't verbally communicate with us, sometimes we forget to. You have to remind yourself to communicate with her. And I remember this one time, and my sister was calling me, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I think maybe I should take her to the doctor, the way she's crying this time. So my sister has a background in medicine, and she deals with like patients and stuff. So my sister was like, you know what? When Auntie Sipho goes, explain to her first that she's going to go. Tell her that she's going to go. And every time she starts fasting, just explain to her no. Because she's had a lot of auntie bayahamba, sometimes bahamba babuyi, even those that she's liked bahamba babuyi and stuff. So mayizohamba mchazela ukuthi uyahamba. Even when she's fasting, say it's okay, auntie uhambile uyabuya kodwa, And the more she gets used to the fact that she comes back, auntie mayihambile, she comes back. Guys, I'm telling you, that weekend when my sister said that, when I said that she was supposed to live throughout the night, the following day, and started getting fast, I'm like, no, auntie uyabuya kusasa, So, but she loves, and I love that even though auntie loves her, I've gotten to a point where I trust my child is always clean, always fed. Like I feel like she's safe with her. I've never felt like she is unsafe with her. She is loved by everybody in my family, even my mom. When I go home, she's like, Upu auntie Sipho. My cousin, there's a cousin of mine that always calls me, oh auntie Sipho, she must not go. Everybody loves. She's like my family now. So yeah, guys, like she's very, very good. Like when we were in the hospital now with surgery, because we were taking turns staying with Sipho, other nurses will come in and say, ha, yes. Like only at the end, others were like, ha, Kandi, who's the mother? Who? Mama, auntie. We're like, no, I'm the mother. They're like, oh, we thought she's the mother, because that's just how it is. But obviously, I'm not I think that I do expect that everybody wants certain things with their lives. So there will be a point probably where she will want to go and do other things with her life. It will be very sad for me. It will be very sad for Sipho because she really loves her. But I'm not like so naive that I think that that would never happen. But right now, she's like perfect for Sipho. Sipho is the happiest when she is around. Sometimes she's the one that will be able to see, like, even because when she gets sick, sometimes you have to do a guessing game, like, okay, what's up, you know? Is it a headache? Is it a stomach? Is it, sometimes she'll be the one to say, I think this is what's going on, or she's not eating as much. The way that she knows her, she will know. Today she didn't eat. I think something is going on. Anything, if she's not sleeping well, yo guys, like God said, I wouldn't be able to do YouTube if she wasn't as good as she is with Sipho Sethu. So I've been like, but that situation was prayed for, I don't want to lie, because it was really like one situation where I was like, if I could just get somebody that would be good with her and more reliable as well, because banento yokuthi abantu bangabe umuntu uyagoduka kabuyi unjani njani. That thing is not like, if we agreed it's okay, you're taking 2 days off, uyabuya ngosuku olukuthi, I know for sure she's gonna be there. And with the support, I need that because Nami, I work. So I need to be able to show up for work when I'm supposed to show up for work. So to have somebody like that, like, it's really great. And also you invest so much in training, because whatever it is that I need to learn when it comes to support, I make sure that she's there for that. So when somebody quits, they go with all of that knowledge. Now you get someone new that now you have to, train. So I think this is like, we're going to finish like a second year now together. Listen, for now, I'm still happy. It's one of those things that if I could pay her 5 times what I pay her, I would do it, because she's really that good. So I know that people ask me this question because honestly, it's not even just normally, you guys, just having kids that do not have special needs. It's hard to find someone that you can trust with your child. It's very, very hard. So then now when a child has special needs, it's even harder, especially when a child cannot communicate what they feel. They cannot tell you what happened to them during the day. And when you're not there, it's hard to find someone that. So I know, I recognize the fact that I'm very lucky that I have someone that I have, and I hope that it's gonna be for a long time. But yeah, you guys, this has been a long story. It could have been long if I told you every single person every single person that we went through to get to this. This video would be 5 hours, I'm telling you. But maybe I can do this thing that they're doing that is called Vlogtober, and every day I'll tell you a story of every single helper or slash nanny slash caretaker that I have ever had, and how, like, why they were fired, because the firing part is very interesting. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate it. Make sure that if you watch this video, you are subscribed, so that we can get monetized on this channel. Thank you so much. Ntando kakhulu.